guys, Matt with Tips for Truckers. And today, well, this morning I had to park it because they had the chain law out. Normally, as you guys know, I'm not afraid to throw chains, but a lot of times I'll just wait it out. Most of the time they'll lift it. And plus, weather was warming up, so I figured, hey, they'll plow it and it'll melt. So, said truck stop a couple hours. Waited till lifted the chain law, looked at traffic. Traffic looked all right. The cameras looked all right, and I was golden. Headed out after sitting for a couple hours. Met some nice gals too. Truck stop. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. And so I, headed out, and I had a full day's of driving. I had about an hour left or so. And I noticed the wind getting pretty bad. And then all of a sudden the wind got really, really bad. And I said, man, I got to park it. And sometimes what you got to do, guys, you got to park it when the wind gets too bad. And here's the bad part about it is a gust can come out of nowhere and you don't know that, it's bad until, let's say, there's a truck stop, 30 miles, an hour down the road. So sometimes you'll have to just park on an off-ramp and just wait it out. Anyway, it's 70 to 80 mile an hour winds right now. And even though I got a heavy load, I can't risk it. I'll wait till the morning. Wind's usually worse, right around this time. It's usually a little bit better in the morning. Usually real late at night is when it starts dying down. During the day it's kind of a toss-up. But anyway, a good rule of thumb is if you're fully loaded, I wouldn't... you're pushing it if it's over 50 mile an hour winds, really. 50 mile an hour gusts. And if it's 70 or better, then yeah, you should definitely try and park it, even if you're fully loaded. I guess if you have a flat piece of flat steel or something on your trailer that's 45,000 pounds. But anyway, use your discretion, man. Use your common sense, guys. But I just wanted to give you some rules of thumb and some tips on driving in the wind. So first tip is, when you feel a wind gust, don't hit your brakes, hit the throttle. And that moves into the second tip. So if your truck is governed at 70, drive around 68, 67, so you got a little bit more oomph to accelerate and pull your trailer. See, what happens is your trailer is going to start tipping first. And if you hit the throttle, if you can accelerate quick enough, it should pull the trailer back down. Every truck that I've ever seen flip over in the wind was hitting their brakes. And we're driving slow. That moves on to number 3. Hate to say it, but the faster you drive, the more you counteract the wind. Now, there's a problem with that. If you do end up flipping over and you're driving fast, it's going to cause a lot bigger accident. So that's really up to your discretion. But accelerating, when your truck starts tipping, or just try to be constantly accelerating while it's windy. Don't slow down or hit the brakes. But, you could drive slow if you want to. Just know you're taking a chance there. I guess it'll look better, if you're going to flip over regardless. I guess it'll look better if you're driving slow. Because everybody will, all the cops think, oh, you just got to drive slow, blah, blah, blah. Not true. So, yeah, those are basically all the tips I could tell you. But going back to the rules of thumb, 50 mile an hour winds, more than 50 mile an hour winds is really pushing it. Now, if you're empty and you have a drive-in or a Conestoga, 35 sustained 40 mile an hour, that's getting kind of 35 is probably not that bad. 40, and you got a drive-in or whatever, or Conestoga, yeah, you should kind of use your discretion there. I'd probably think about parking it if it looks like it's going to get any worse. But the problem with the wind is it could be a gust that just comes out of nowhere, and you don't know, and flips you over. But I mean, if it's been gusting for a while and you passed a couple truck stops, hey, you're kind of out of excuses, man. But anyway, yeah, so park it if you have to. I definitely had to tonight, even though I got a full load. It's pretty high profile. So yeah, ended up parking it. I was close to the end of my day. I'm sure it's going to be a lot better in the morning. But a couple states, I'm in Montana right now. They're notorious for high winds. The worst state is definitely Wyoming. And what Wyoming has is they got big electronic signs that say, wind gust 50 mile an hour, no light, high profile vehicles allowed on the highway. And I remember one time I was in Wyoming, I was in Cheyenne. They had 100 mile an hour winds for almost a week straight, and they shut down the whole state. I mean, cars couldn't even travel on the interstate. There were trucks being blown over in the truck stop and everything that were parked. Luckily, I was between two trucks, and like I said, they just shut down the whole state. But Wyoming's the worst. And the thing about Wyoming, if they have those signs that say no high profile vehicles, or if it's more than 50, if it's like 70 mile an hour gusts, it'll say like no high profile vehicles. You're all right if you're like a flatbed with a heavy, very low profile, like a flat steel. You can get away with it and not get a ticket. But here's the thing, they won't give you a ticket unless you get blown over. Once you get blown over, here's what they do. It's what I'm told. I can't tell you for sure. They give you a $10,000 ticket. You got to pay it on the spot, and they won't let you call the towing company until you pay that ticket. Yeah. So definitely think about it when you're in Wyoming, and be careful. Hey, watch out for wind, guys. Watch out for fog. Smell with Tips for Truckers. Have a great day.